I got a quick question here for you. I've been pounding the pavement hard this spring rush. Like I probably handed out like 3 to 5 thousand door hangers, and my return rates are just so low. Like I've handed out 3,000. I've only got 5 customers from it, like 5 calls, 5 customers, 100% customer acquisition. And I'm just wondering if I should do an EDDM campaign. And I just want to know your thoughts on that. If you think if there's something I should be doing better with the door hangers, and they're the instant quote ones. I have piles of these everywhere. I got like 3,000 on my desk right here. I'm
So,
just getting them
have you
out.
have you started mowing, Thorsten?
No. First week of mowing is gonna be next week for me.
Yeah, so that's why. So your demand in your market. So with door hangers, we see a 3 to 4 times increase in the amount of people who will respond when there's pain. So the only people that have responded, those 5 people that responded, are people that like plan ahead. Because like until we're 3 to 4 weeks into spring rush and their lawn is overgrown, they have no pain. And so I actually think 5 out of 3,000 is not bad, given the fact that you are doing this before anyone needs their grass cut. And so I would also say that if you put 3,000 out, you will probably get another 5 over the next 3 weeks, simply because people will be like, okay, now I have pain, I will contact this person. But I would really say, like, even if you run the math, let's just say, like, because you're early, you got 5 out of 3,000. Let's just say in 3 to 4 weeks you do this. Now the grass is a little bit shaggy. People are actually thinking about it. It's a beautiful day outside. Let's just say we can get 10. Well, that means we need to basically do 300 door hangers to get one new customer. And if you're doing 100 of those per hour, that's literally every 3 hours you're getting a new customer. And 3 hours, let's just say it's not you, it's someone else that you're hired to do it. That's $25 per hour. Let's just call it $75 customer acquisition cost. We can make some real sense of this now, right? So I wouldn't discount the door hangers yet. I happen to believe if you would have spent that same money on every door direct mail, it would have been worse right now. But I believe in 3 to 4 weeks, that same 3,000 could bring in 10 to 15 customers.
Okay, so wait till the, let's say, like first week of May, and then pound out another, as many door hangers as I got left, 2,500 to 5,000.
Yep, 100%. And the reason I know that is because if you did 5 out of 3,000 before you started mowing grass, I can promise you when you're 3 to 4 weeks booked into the winter or into the rush, you're probably on that same next 3,000 gonna get at least 10. And the math on 10 starts to look really good. The math on 20 starts to look amazing.
Yeah, I was planning ahead. Like, everybody says, oh, 1 to 5% on door hangers. I bought 10,000 for an extremely good price. Like I bought them for like $500 off of Alibaba. For all you guys out there, if you guys go to Alibaba and contact some like of the suppliers, you guys could get marketing for extremely cheap, way cheaper than Vistaprint, everything. So go ahead and do that. And I got 10,000 for $500, and I was like, all right, this is all my marketing for the spring. So now I'm in a position where I'm like, all right, well, I'm not afraid to, put a couple $1,000s on my credit card because I know it's going to pay off. But what do you think my next like approach should be? You think I should go for an EDDM campaign here soon in the next like 3 weeks?
No, no, I think more and better before new. Before you go start a new marketing channel and go get more marketing collateral, I would take what you currently done, which is you have 5 out of 3,000. If you got 1% on a door hanger, you should back up your truck, take a mortgage on your house, and keep doing it. I don't think you're gonna get to 1%, but if you even get 0.5%, which is 15 out of 3,000, which I think you could get to in 3 to 4 weeks from now, if you do that, that's a phenomenal return on your money, and you won't get it with every door direct mail. We're just not seeing it across the whole system,
Mm,
in terms of like dollars in versus dollars out. Because right now, I would imagine you have more time than you have money, and so
yeah.
you delivering is essentially free. I made this a $25 per hour thing up, but the alternative to you doing door hangers right now is sitting at home. So like, let's not do that. So if I was you, and I had 5,000 or 10,000 more of these, I'd be still doing them now. Because even at 5 customers for 3,000, how long it take you to get the 3,000? Like a week?
Yeah, like a week to like
Great,
a week and a half.
great. So we got a week. You got 5 new customers, dude. Let's
Yeah.
just keep doing that.
Yeah, that's what I guess that's what I'm gonna keep doing. But so
And
so
and, and I do believe that as you do next week, the week after, and next 6 weeks, you'll get more and more as a function of percentage, closer to the 0.5%. But like, I would not get discouraged with your current. I just keep doing what you're doing.
all right, well, that's all I needed to hear. I need that reassurance of. Well, I have a quick question. If I want to do like an EDDM for mulch, because I feel like a
You
mulch.
really love EDDM, don't you?
I see these YouTubers that they pay me to like, oh,
Yeah,
screw all the Google ads,
dude.
the Facebook ads,
Everything. Oh
EDDM.
man.
You know,
Dude,
so What would be a
They're
good
all get
promotion on for
they all have
Molt?
sponsors, bro. They all have sponsors behind them trying to get them to buy stuff from
They
Postcard
all want you to
Mania and
buy buy
Vistaprint.
their postcards from their website.
Yeah, like trust me, like get the door hanger, you got it. You already have them. The cost of delivery is literally your blood, sweat, and tears for the next 6 weeks. And I genuinely believe if you did what you've done the past week, which is 2,000, 3,000 a week, you will wake up and you will have 50 customers.
All right, well, that's what I'm gonna do.
Let's
Thanks,
go,
Mike.
dude. Report back in the Facebook group. Let's go.
I will. I'm gonna be pounding them. Everybody, Alibaba contact the
Hey, be
real.
careful with all of these tariffs. It might not be much cheaper here pretty
Might
soon.
not be. Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
We'll get Q&A started. Go ahead, Marco.
Hey, Mike, thanks for having us. We're happy to be on Copilot. I'll keep this brief. Ran into some trouble with the trademarking issue. I sent this question on the group as well. You might probably be thinking I answered already, but dying to hear what your thoughts are. So we started this company 26 months ago. We're on track for about 850,000 to $1 million this year. Just hired a superstar sales guy who's on this call. And somebody hits me with a, hey, by the way, you're using my name. So he's using Riptide pressure washing. He's a couple hundred miles north of us. We're using Riptide soft wash. We're not crossing paths. We registered the businesses roughly within a week and a half of each other, but he went the next level and trademarked Riptide pressure washing, soft washing, roof washing, and a bunch of other crap. So he's basically forced a name change on us. How would you tackle moving forward the next 4 weeks once we solidify with a new name? What would your strategy be in terms of notifying existing clients and changing your digital advertising and stuff? Just give me like a high level 30-second. It's a big one, I know.
First off, I wouldn't stress about this. Customers don't care about the name of your business. And so what I would do is, have you already switched over to Copilot, Marco, or not yet?
No, we're going to start May 1st, but I just did the onboarding this morning.
Cool. So that makes it easy because you're not like, whether you're switching a software or you are switching like bank accounts and all the other stuff that you're going to have to do, you're going to have to like ask customers for their card information again. So you could kind of just merge these two. I would not overthink this. I wouldn't even send an email to everyone telling, hey, Riptide is now this name. I would bake it into my first email correspondence with them that I'm already doing, whether it be an invoice, an estimate, or a marketing email down the road. And no one cares that Riptide changes their name. What they care about is like, I got an invoice, I got to get paid, and you need to get their card information on file because now you don't have it from the last account. And so I would just bake that need for them getting their card information into that same email. And that same email could just say, hey, exciting news, Riptide is now X, Y, and Z. If I was you, Marco, I would say, hey, due to this, now you have the ability to, and just list off all the positive things about why Copilot's gonna be helpful. Like, for example, I don't know what you used in the past, but like now you have automations. Now you can put your card on file. Like, list off some positives for them. But I would bake it all in one email. I would also not make a big deal of it to confuse customers. I'm assuming you're like changing your logo and everything, or is it just like a very small change?
It's going to be a name change at the bottom of the logo, but the wave, everything will stay in the graphics side. So we're trying
Oh
to
yeah,
keep it as easy as possible.
cool. Yeah, customers won't even notice. It'll be great.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, man.
Yeah, you got it.
Tuesday, and I'm closing on 50 accounts for my sons, and want to get them like upload. I think we met with Arrows.
Yep, Arrow. Yep.
Okay. What's the next step once we get with Arrow? They're when we leave the closing, they're putting all 50 accounts in an Excel sheet. He said he's going to upload them, and we're buying them from a previous person. So I kind of similar to, I guess, to the previous question. We just want to make sure that transition is as smooth as possible from them to us.
Yeah, so because you are changing ownership, it's a little different. I would be sending an email to all my customers saying, hey, those 50 that you've purchased, in the perfect world, what I would be doing is I would be having a video with you and the previous owner. Like, is that person available for a video call or a video with you?
Yeah, he would. I think he'd be cool with that.
So what I would do is in the email builder of Copilot, you can actually embed a video. And so what I would do is I would spend some good quality time on designing a nice email that has your logo and their logo. Says, Billy Bob's Towing is now, your towing company name. And then have a video just saying the business, like 1 minute or less. the business owner saying like, yeah, he's now going to be taking over your accounts. He's super awesome. Really trust him. And then you being like, we look forward to having you as part of this upgrade. You're going to be getting all these extra advantages, like make it positive for them. That's always worked well for when I do acquisitions and mergers.
I was wondering what is better to set up a sole member EIN or an S Corp? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Have you just started the business, Dominic?
I started something with a friend last year. It was more of a learning curve. He's going off into the Air Force, so it'll just be me. So I'm just kind of trying to restructure everything.
I would just
Yeah,
do
I
a single
know.
member LLC. So the LLC will give you a little bit of liability protection. I don't think you need
Okay.
S Corp right now. You're going to spend a lot more on legal fees to get it set up, as well as with an S Corp, you basically have to file another tax return in addition to your regular 1040. And so, whereas
Okay.
with a single member LLC, it's a pass through entity. It's going to show up as a Schedule C on your tax return, and so you'll
Yep.
pay, let's call it $500-$600 for someone to file your taxes versus 2,000. So I would stick with that. That being said, once you cross like $40,000-$50,000 in profit take home from the business, your CPA should be smart enough to know that you need to file a Form 1120S, and that's going to allow you to
1120S.
be that's going to allow you to file as an S corp, but still just remain an LLC. So you
Okay.
don't really need to start as an S corp. I would not recommend that.
So do the sole member.
Yep, I just do a sole member LLC. I wouldn't do a sole member proprietorship. I would do an LLC.
Oh, sole member LLC. Okay. Let's see. Okay. And then since I am new, I've got trucks and everything, or one truck purchased and all the equipment that I need. Um, what's the best way to actually get people? Because I've got the equipment and I've got the bills now. I just kind of need work.
What industry are you in, Dominic?
Lawn maintenance. So like
Cool.
lawn mowing and all that.
So I have a solution. Landscapebusinesscourse.com. It's a free course. Go watch that. It'll walk you from start to finish on like the marketing side, different ad channels, whether it be door hangers, Facebook ads. Just
Mhm.
start there. Like, there's a ton of information on there. It's all free.
Okay, perfect. Got it. Well, thank you very much.
You got it.
Hey Mike, I've been doing the landscape business course for a while, and that's like the best like advice I've ever had. Um, I was just wondering what your best form of marketing would be to get myself out there. Like we've been part-time. Like I've been just doing this part-time for a couple years. And this year I was like, you know what, why not just jump ahead and scale it? And definitely did scale it, but not where I want to be. What's the best form of like getting my name out there?
Everything. Like is a function of posting on Facebook about it, is a function of making a better website, is a function of doing door hangers, is a function of telling the person that is your waiter and your waitress and your hairdresser and your accountant about you. Like it is a function of like brute force. And so I was talking to someone yesterday, they actually have a really interesting like beef jerky company. And they're like, oh, I need an investor and I need to like scale this thing up and do a big marketing campaign. I'm like, no, you have 70 stores. You're going to get an RV. You can talk to 10 a day and you're closing 8 out of 10 stores. You're going to go in an RV. You're going to a 3-month vacation, going from store to store to store and come back with 500 stores. And so this is a function of brute force, especially if you don't have thousands of dollars to spend on ads. But I would be looking at first, if you're going to spend $1 on marketing, make sure your website is set up correctly, right? And
Okay.
so I'd be looking there first because every dollar I spend on marketing can get significantly more effective if I just have a great website that converts. So I'd look
Right.
there first, and then I would just go brute force, and that's door hangers, yard signs, whatever you gotta do.
Okay, right. We have all the equipment. I have I have enough work for myself, but not like I have right now because it's the spring and it's heavy, and I have enough work for another guy. But once I only have probably 25 lawn accounts, and it's not enough for me to keep him on. But I want to keep him on because he wants to work for a while, and he's good. And I hate to let him go because I want to scale it eventually. And he's good. He's reliable enough where I can let him run a crew or something if I wanted to. But yeah, like it was part-time and now I'm doing like we're set for 100,000 in revenue. Whereas like the previous years it was like 30, 40 grand. And I definitely brought it up, but not where I want to be.
Mhm.
Don't
Yep,
have
this is-
time for marketing either. So
Yeah, it's a function of time, right? And so like I would also recommend like if you like the landscape business course, go do the workshop, mikeandys.com/workshop. It's free. It walks through like all the different parts of like not just having the seasonality of spring rush, but how to
Yeah.
actually capitalize on that in the rest of the year. So I'd highly
Right.
recommend that. But like I think you're from a marketing perspective and a leads perspective, if leads is your current constraint, if like I don't have enough leads, then there's a function of, okay, how do we get leads? Let's make a great website. That's my storefront. And then I'm going to drive traffic to it in the form of door hangers, yard signs, Facebook ads, Google ads, and the list goes on.
Yeah,
And
we're
so
going crazy with the Facebook and the I put out like a couple thousand door hangers this year, and still I'm only booked like 2-3 weeks out, and it's like I want to be booked out till June. That's what I want to do.
yeah. So
June's
then,
a lot.
I'd be like, what's your website right now, Noah?
It's gorgolandmanagement.com. It's
Hey,
actually someone made it for me as a gift for like my birthday.
what's the name of it? I'm gonna look it up. What is it?
Gorgo Land Management.
GorgoLandManagement.com.
Yep.
Gorgo. GORGO.
Yep.
Land management.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Okay. Yeah, I would be looking at this first. Like, so if I'll share my screen. So you can drive all the traffic in the world, but if the site doesn't convert, we wasted money. And
Okay.
so like this picture doesn't scream to me anything
Right.
about you, your business, your brand, your logo. I don't see anything about your trucks,
Right.
your logo,
We
your
actually just
uniform.
created a new logo today, actually. A little
Let's
more
go.
professional. So
Yeah. So like I would lean into that. I would redesign the site to be able to collect
okay.
information. Right now, Google form, like that button, not going to convert. I would have a estimate request form above the fold to the right-hand side of the screen, 1/3 of the screen, and it would be 4 to 6 lines. I would not go to a Google form. Like your conversion is not going to do well.
Right.
Making sure your Google listing is optimized with more than 30 reviews. It links to this site. These are the type of things like it's just time.
Gotcha. All right. I appreciate that. And one more thing, I keep getting these calls about for the website to make it like show up as number one. Is that actually a thing I should look into, and making it like once I get the website fixed and neat and orderly, getting it to show up sooner
That's
than
search engine optimization.
Yeah.
It's just a function of like, I'd focus on number one, which is make the site better. So
Yeah.
go to YouTube. I've done this before where I do like 50 websites and I go through one by one and just say, you should change this, you should change that. If you watch one of those videos, you will get the top 10 things that you like, oh, okay, I need to change the picture. I need to put the estimate request form above the fold. It needs to be on the right-hand side. Like I need to have a phone number. You'll get the top 10. You can do those yourself. Those will be low-hanging fruit. And then if down the road you want to do SEO stuff, there's a bazillion people and their mom that will want to sell you that.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Another thing, do you think I should let this guy off, or should I keep him on and hopefully the business grows? Because I'm not profiting.
Mhm.
Like I'm staying afloat revenue wise.
Mhm.
But profit's not there because I don't have 2 jobs booked a day. I have a job booked a day, and then maybe 1 day a week I won't have a job.
Yeah, so this just comes down to like if you're gonna be default aggressive, I would be talking to every one of your 25 customers in the next 24 hours and trying to upsell them into a project of some sort. Because if 5 of them accept, all of a sudden you're booked out an extra 2 weeks. You can keep him busy. That buys you 2 weeks to go fix the website. In those 2 weeks, I'm going to start calling people. I'm going to contact, like if you have 25 customers, you probably have 50 to 100 contacts in your database. I'd be going to every single one of them.
Yeah.
But I think it's just like if you're conservative, like in terms of you don't want to spend money, you're very concerned about, your current finances, then I would let him go. I would be working crazy amounts of hours, like 12 to 14 hours a day in the field. I'd go home at night and I would work on the website. I'd be working on posting on social media.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I appreciate it.
These are some great questions, man. I'm new to this industry as well. So thank you, everybody. Real quick, my other question was about the customer appraisal. So the guy we're acquiring the company from, I don't want to lose or scare them, but I do want to make sure that we appraise these properties correctly. When I was with them and we was doing due diligence one day, he was like, "Yeah, I charge 65 over here. I'm charging them 50." I'm like, "Well, how do you know to charge them 50?" He like, "Well, he referred somebody to me, so I took $15 off." Now I don't know if you mentioned earlier about like cutting himself. He might be losing money. I don't know.
Yeah. So in terms of like creating an accurate estimate, there's 2 functions of this. One is that the likelihood if you're buying these 50 accounts that they made these numbers up. So we should assume that. And then I'd be tracking your budget hours versus your actual hours inside of Copilot. So have every time you're at the property, you're gonna clock in and out. You're gonna say, okay, there was 0.4 budgeted hours or 35 minutes or whatever it is. And I'm going to compare that to the budget hours. Now, how do I come with the budget hours is, let's just start $50. Great. If you're charging $100 per hour, then that's 0.5 budgeted hours. You should be getting the job done in 0.5 budget hours if you're trying to hit $100 per hour. And so then how you raise price in the future or determine whether or not these prices are accurate is, am I hitting budgeted hours? If I'm not, I need to raise the prices. And so the vast majority of people make up numbers when it comes to estimates. And so going forward, you will start to get to know, okay, if it's a 3,000 square foot property, it takes about X long. And if it takes X long, that's X amount of budget hours. I should multiply by my rate. Oh, boom, that's a $43 cut, right? So it's simply going to come down to, tracking budget hours versus actual hours to determine whether or not this is accurate pricing and whether or not you need to up it.
Okay, so so it's based more off of hours versus like $1 a square foot type of thing. Let's say they got, like you said, 500 square foot, we charging whatever, 50 cents
Yeah,
a square.
yeah. At the end of the day, if you're paying your employees, to get the job done, and you pay them for time, you pay them to get, for them to show up. I want to track budget hours. Like, square footage is good, but square footage is a function of how long it takes me to do the job. So that's why, we still measure based on square footage and then give someone a price. But the real math of it is, how long does it take to do 3,000 square feet of lawn? How long does it take to do 6,000 square feet of lawn? And so if you just determined, okay, I'm going to have 5 different ranges. I'm going to have 0 to 4,000 square feet, making up numbers. I'm going to have 4,000 to 8,000, 8,000 to 12,000, 12,000 to 16,000. Like, that's enough granularity, in my opinion, to get started in terms of what your pricing is based upon square footage. But what I'm really going to be doing is tracking budget hours versus actual hours on every single job, so that in 6 months, when I need to raise prices, I know exactly who to raise prices on, because I'm simply looking at who am I not hitting budget hours on.
Good. So my first question would be, what is the response rate you guys typically see on the EDDM?
Yeah, like, it's very, very seasonal, right? Like, the thing with every door direct mail is you could send it out this week and get like a 0.1% response rate, and you send it out in 4 or 5 weeks once the lawn is completely overgrown, and get like a 0.3, 0.4% response rate. So it can triple like pretty easily, just and even the day that it's delivered. Like, if it's just
Yeah.
nicer weather. So I'm not a huge fan of every door direct mail. The only way I usually do it is if I can't do door hangers or door knocking, and I really want after a very specific neighborhood. That's like the only reason I would do it.
Got it. All right.
It's usually a pretty expensive alternative to doing door hangers, where I can do an instant price on it. And if I was doing every door direct mail, I would make sure there's an instant pricing functionality in it to get a higher response rate, because the response rate is just too low. It is like, I am seeing across the board like 0.1, maybe 0.3. It's just not great. You're already in the hand of a whole bunch of junk mail, and you got to like do such a crazy offer to get out of that, versus like a door hanger. There's nothing else on that door typically. So I have a
Yeah.
little bit more exclusivity in terms of their attention, and they're not hovering over the garbage can already. So we see a better response rate on door hangers. As long as you can make the math work in terms of like delivery, we're good. But from a delivery perspective, if I can't get the door because of HOAs, gated communities, etc., then I would go every door direct mail. But we're seeing pretty low response rates.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Marketers ruin everything. So I think marketers have, this whole EDDM thing has become so popular now, everyone's kind of ruining it. But door hangers will eventually be ruined too. So currently I'm seeing mostly the better numbers on the door hanger side.
So I have a truck washing business.
Cool.
It's primarily truck washing, mobile truck washing. So
You go
we
to them?
about, what's that?
Do you go to them?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Cool. Awesome. Got it.
Yep. So we wash anywhere about an hour out. And there's a certain area close to like the PA Ohio state line. That's about an hour and a half out, that there's a lot of business available there. So I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to kind of target that. I actually have a guy that lives in that area that works for me. So do I just, start having him take a truck and trailer home? I mean, is it that simple, or do I start marketing in that area? What do you think?
Mm-hmm. What's your main customer acquisition channel now? Is it like shops that refer you to their customers?
A lot of door knocking. Just
Really?
going around. Yes, sir. Yeah. So I have a sales guy that works for me that between him and I, we try to knock on like 40 doors a day. big trucking customers. So we'll go around to these companies and we've got some flyers that we hand out to them and just try to get them signed up on a routine basis.
Cool. And the average customer, how many trucks do they usually have? Like 3, 4, 5, or we're talking like a fleet of 20, 30?
I'd say 20 to 30.
Okay, cool.
We have a company that has 200 trucks,
Wow.
but then we also have some that have smaller amounts.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's all over the place.
Cool. That's interesting. Do you think you are demand constrained, like in terms of like your current service area? Like there's no one else that really needs your service and you don't know who to knock on next? Or is this a function of like, it's just a bigger area?
I'd say a little bit of both. So like if I'm driving down the highway, pretty much every company that passes me, I've talked to them.
Mhm.
Now typically I've started to realize it's just a matter of time before they end up losing whoever they're using and they give us a call or whatever. But it's also just I know there's a lot of business in that particular area. So I guess it's a little bit of both. Like I wouldn't say we're completely maxed out on our demand,
Mhm.
but at the same time, if there's a lot of work in that area, it just
Mhm.
kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the thing to be careful of is you can always make sense of expanding service area because like
Yeah.
and honestly like you can always prove yourself right because you always you will get more customers there. So like it's very hard to say like, oh, it's a bad thing because you can always make sense of it. Same thing with adding services. Like it's always easy to justify it because yes, you will make more revenue. So it just becomes like, do you want the kind of business where someone takes the truck home? Do you
Yeah.
want the kind of business that they're 2 hours, 3 hours away from you? Do you want the kind of business like that's what it comes down to. And then it's a matter of like, well, is your close ratio lower there because over here you have more brand equity, brand awareness in the
Mm-hmm.
local market. So like it just becomes a function of what kind of business do you want to build? Like and like well, I would also ask is like how many employees you currently have?
Uh, so full-time employees, I've got 5, but on the weekends, whenever we're washing trucks, it could be up to 10 guys typically.
Cool. Would you ever consider doing a satellite location?
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
I
I
would.
feel like that 5 to 10 marker could become a general manager that
Okay.
runs that one. And then how far away is this other area? Like 2 hours away?
Yeah. So a lot of the companies that we already do are an hour away. We will drive an hour max, but then I'd say an hour from there in that hour gap, there's a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, like I would say like I would probably if I was you, instead of being on sales road, you and this other guy, I would probably try to go into profit mode, take your current customers and raise prices as you hit capacity. I would try to get to 6 to 8 employees instead of that 10 side, but you're probably going to shrink a little bit anyways just by not constantly working on sales. But then by raising my
Mm-hmm.
prices and turn that into profit mode, now you could technically afford a general manager. Now
Yeah, makes sense.
the intermediary is that you kind of juggle both for a second from a financial perspective. If you don't have like 100 grand to kind of like, okay, I know I'm going to have a bit of a dip in profit if I have a general manager. Great. You could kind of manage that one as is and send yourself or one other person going to the sales 3 hours away. Maybe they stay over 2 or 3 nights in a week or whatever and sell jobs and then just hire one person. You could do it kind of halfway, or you could just be like, okay, great. I am going to set this date. We're going to raise prices. We're going to stop doing sales. We're going to general manager or promote someone into becoming a general manager. We're going to have 6 to 8 employees at this location, and I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to crush it. So
Okay.
it's kind of what business do you want to build? But that model, that size, like I was thinking 1 to 2 employees. So like as soon as you said 5 to 10, I think general manager because people can manage 6 to 8 employees pretty well.
Yeah.
And then as long as you're not in growth mode and you switch it to profit mode and you're just not doing sales and instead that one person door knocking is just managing the crew, you'll be profitable.
Okay. Makes sense. Gotcha. And do you think I need to buy more equipment for that area?
Well,
Just
what might be interesting is even if you took one truck, for example, over there, that would then be the one truck that currently you're doing all these sales to fill. So you take the one truck
Mhm.
to get started. And like, Zach, do you think you would go over and start it, or do you think you have a salesperson that would do that?
I'd probably go myself.
Yeah, that's what I recommend. Like, if, especially your second location, even instead of Augusta, when people are like, I want to start a second location, great. Find an operational GM that can just run the business. They don't need to do
Mhm.
sales. They just run the business. You, as an entrepreneur, go do the sales for the new location and you
Okay.
ramp it up. You get to 4, 5, 6 employees because that's the skill that if someone else had the skill, they would probably go start their own business.
Right. Makes
Right.
sense.
So I would say if you're thinking multiple locations, 3 hours is a long distance to try to juggle one location.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you send someone with a truck there, they're gonna feel so isolated that eventually they'll probably start their own thing.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. Got it. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Stuff, man.
All right, Mike, I figured it out.
Let's go, Gavin. Out here hustling.
Yes,
What's up,
sir.
brother?
So I got two questions. The first one is, what last year we was at around 120,000 in revenue. It was our first year. We started in March, and now this year we're at 26 right now, 26,000. And so I'm looking to go to 200,000 this year. What are some key points that you can suggest that I need to be looking at and kind of working on right now to get to 200,000?
I assume you've hired an employee this year.
Well, I did, but just let him go yesterday. He just wasn't working out, wasn't weed eating, and just kind of slacking big time.
And so what's your goal for the business, Gavin? Are you trying to grow to like a crew? Are you trying to just make it really profitable with you like as a job? What's your goal?
So I want to grow and just kind of, rinse and repeat, just as big as I can get. I kind of want to use your systems and join Augusta. So I'm just trying to get there right now and try to get, a franchise location, maybe in Trustful, and then go from there and kind of hit, the areas surrounding. My route's about 47 miles wide in total.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm hitting a bunch of different communities, but my co-pilot saying that I'm still doing pretty good as far as
Efficiency score.
right, efficiency score. So last year I talked to somebody at Copilot that we was doing a coaching call, and they said that I was around 30 something percent profitable. So I mean, it seems like things are working out. I'm not really sure. I'm not good at all the numbers, but
You're good.
I'm good at hustling. That's about
Yes, like the skill that you have acquired to date is that of a laborer. Like you can get the work done. As you
Right.
pass 200,000, the skill that's required is to go that from of a laborer to that of a manager. And so that's
Mhm.
like your first employee didn't work out, right? The unlock will be, can you become a good manager? Can you actually
Mhm.
lead people? Then it's a function of like, well, why did he leave? And it's not a matter of this person individually. It's like, okay, why was he slacking off? Okay, well, maybe I should institute something like pay for performance, because then they actually are incentivized to and motivated to move.
Right.
So the skill that you lack, and I don't say this in a derogatory manner because I lack skills too, but like the only skill you lack between 200,000 and 500,000 is the skill of a manager. Like, can you
Right.
hire someone, train them up, keep them efficient, make them accountable, have one-on-one meetings, have team meetings, have safety meetings, compensate them correctly? Like, those are the skills that are required. So getting more customers, you've proven you can do that. And at 200,000, we believe you be very profitable. You will probably be 50, 60, 70% profitable if you just did the work yourself. So it's not surprising me that you're at 30% profit. If you're 30% profitable on a $200,000 business, that's $40,000 a year. You should probably just go flip burgers if that's all you're going to do, though. And so
Right.
I would venture to believe that there's a lot of inefficiencies, and it's being masked by the fact that Gavin is a hustler and works crazy amounts of hours. Because being 30% profitable when you're out in the field, if you were replaced by an employee, that 40 grand goes gone. Like you're at zero. And so I actually think either you do have inefficiencies because of the massive service area, or your pricing is way too low for scale because you could make it profitable and you have at your size. And so what usually happens is once you go from labor to manager, there's a period of time, okay, I actually have to reduce my service area because now it costs me money when I'm driving. Because in the past, you just drove more hours. Like, what to do? Who cares? Now it's actually going to cost you to have inefficiencies in the truck or the equipment or the downtime. And so the rethinking of labor to manager is going to be what's required, and gaining skills of that of a manager. And that's not an easy thing to do, but it's certainly something that can be acquired in terms of books, audiobooks, podcasts. It's not a matter of like get customers. It is a function of how do you become a great manager.
Right. Okay. So it's probably, I mean, my hourly rate's at 75 right now. So I would assume that the 47 miles, I need to just, I don't know, raise prices or just and that way that I condense my route, or just condense my route and raise prices.
I would try to identify what is the area I'm actually wanting customers. I would do all my marketing there. I would identify what my max capacity is in terms of number of customers, which I think you're probably pretty close to it right now. So like how many more customers do you think you could serve now, Gavin, if you had one employee, like or a decent employee?
Well, I have 100 cuts right now, and so if I do, if I get up, if I have an employee and he, takes on this truck and he has an employee that works with him, then I can go out and, I could do, it's probably 70 yards, 70, 80 yards myself.
Okay. But let's just say you didn't have an employee. You're basically at capacity right now, right? Like 100 lawns by
Right.
yourself. Got it.
Oh yeah.
So this is a good time to be able to cut back now. Because what I would do is take your 47 miles and be like, okay, great. If I get 10 more customers, I am over capacity. I'd have to be working weekends and all this crazy stuff. Great. Instead of 47 miles, let's just try to get down to 20. I bet if you had 20 miles, you would probably still hit like 60 to 70% of your customers. And so what I would recommend is every time you get a new customer for the next few weeks, you're going to eliminate a customer that's 47 miles away. And then the next one that's closer, the next closer from you. And you're like, well, do I actually remove them? No, you give them a price increase that's substantial. Like I'm talking 50% price increase. And if they say no, they weed themselves out. And if they say yes, okay, we will drive the extra 5-10 minutes to their property.
Gotcha. Okay. And one more question about Christmas lights. So on the second year, do you charge the same amount that you charged for the first year?
We usually give them a discount on years after the first year because we have all of our cross on the initial install. And so we want to incentivize, like we make all of our money on years 2, 3, and 4. And so we want to incentivize that. So usually we give them like a 10 to 20% discount.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you, Mike.
You got it. And
I guess that's kind of the question, is being solo, wanting to transition into owning another 1 to 2 trucks. Like I don't know, what would be a good step to get there?
yeah, like it's really a matter of like you're lead constrained. And so, if you had a bazillion leads coming in tomorrow, you could probably figure out a way to get another truck and hire people, et cetera.
Mhm.
Right. So then it becomes a function of like, okay, do we have a website? Do we have social media? Do we have Google reviews? Is that site optimized for conversion or is it optimized to look nice? Because like if it's not converting, you can pay all the money in the world to do door hangers and Facebook ads and Google ads, but if you drive traffic there and it stinks, then
Right.
or we're getting like 1 out of 50 to convert. Well, I just need to change that to 1 out of 10, and you 5x the business. And so when we talk about having a lead constrained business, whereas Gavin is like he's trying to find an employee so he can continue to grow the business. When you're lead constrained, it's just a function of like I would be first looking at your conversion on your site because any dollar then you spend in the future to drive people to that site is well spent.
Okay. Right.
So, and even like your Google listing, like having, your Google reviews and it being a website, the address is verified to a physical address instead of a service area. These are things that like immediately could double the business. Because you're lead constrained, it's actually a relatively simple problem to solve. It's just simply a matter of reverse engineering. Okay, how do I get more customers? Oh, they're submitting estimate request forms or they're calling me. Okay, how do I get them to do more of that? Well, I need to advertise. Great, let's advertise, but make sure that when they get to my site, they actually convert into a lead. And so I would really look at first your website and like online where people are going to find you, and then go backwards to, okay, where do I advertise them? Whether it be Facebook, Google, door hangers, etc. But now when I drive them there, it's a professional looking website. It shows my brand, my uniforms, my logos, my trucks, my crew. That's the type of stuff I'd be kind of focused on first.
Right. And I did just have a web designer start designing my website, which is good. And
Cool.
then we're going to start doing the SEO optimization and then just get that into Google so that, yeah, when people can search, they'll see those things. And
Good stuff.
so,
I love it.
What do you know about the cleaning business, like residential cleaning, interiors?
Fun fact, Augusta Cleaning Services was a real deal. I've cleaned
All right.
my fair share of windows, interior. I'm small, I can get around.
Okay. Because my wife does interior cleaning.
Cool.
And she just does it by herself right at the moment. She doesn't really have any desire to grow, but
Mhm.
I'm always trying to get her to grow.
Good luck
Of
with
course.
that.
So this year she's doing, I mean, we're only 3 months in, but she's doing really well.
Yeah.
Like last year she made like 30 grand. This year she's
Mhm.
gonna make like 60 grand.
Mhm.
And I think she's kind of more open to the idea of maybe hiring some employees and maybe trying to grow it a little bit. And I know nothing about that line of work. So I'm not much help to her at all.
Yeah, so the one thing I would be careful of is, pushing her to do it because her role will change from a laborer to a manager as soon as she hits employees, and she might like the
Hmm.
work and then hate managing people to do the work. And especially in that world, it becomes your constraint is labor. It is finding more employees, and you don't have the capability that you have with the cleaning company where you can supercharge someone's labor with equipment, um, a better pressure washing system, chemicals, etc.
Hmm.
With cleaning, you literally have a wipe and like elbow grease. Like it is straight labor arbitrage. And so your
Yeah.
hourly rate that they are going to command is significantly lower than you're going to get on like a truck. And so you are dealing with a different type of labor. And so I would just be careful about pushing someone into being a manager if they like the work. Like if she likes the work, it might not be a bad gig. Just be like, hey, let's raise our prices and make an extra 10, 15 grand a year in profit versus
Yeah.
going and trying to make 100 grand and making 10 grand in profit.
Yeah. That makes sense. Understand. I got you. Okay.
And then what she could do, Zach, is like she carves out a niche of like premium paying customers that then if she wants to raise prices, or sorry, if she wants to scale it and have employees down the road, you're now charging $80 to $100 an hour, not 40 to 60. I appreciate you all and hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening. Take care.